Welcome to Ranting, the Rant Files, the podcast that has strong opinions and zero filters. I'm Nick Arriaga, and this is my lovely wife, Miranda Arriaga.
Hey.
She's going into this episode completely blind and doesn't know what any of the topics are. How does that make you feel?
I'm a little nervous. I mean, that right there said pretty much everything,
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
Specifically the zero filters. I'm like, oh, God.
So let's get right into it. First up, rant or rave. I picked 4 hot topics, and we'll see which one Miranda wants to rant or rave about.
Ooh.
So you got 4 to pick. You got 4 to pick from. You got to pick one. Okay.
I don't get to rant about all of them.
Nope. Those will be for future episodes.
Okay.
So the first one is AI overload in everyday life.
Okay.
4-day work week trials. Remote versus in-office work. Or combating burnout versus being lazy.
Interesting.
Which topic sounds the best for ranting or raving?
How deep are we getting into it?
So I have examples for each one.
Okay, yeah, let's hear the examples.
Okay, so if you were to pick 4-day work week trial, right? An example rant would be great in theory, but not realistic for most industries. And the rave would be productivity is up, burnout is down. What's not to like? So we could format it to where I give you all 4, right? And then you pick one, and then I can add in the rant or rave, or the rant and rave, into the one that you pick, or I can give you all 4, but that just seems like a lot of information to process.
Yeah, well, that's why I was like, wait a minute, hold on, what is it?
So I would be like, I picked 4 hot topics, and we'll see which one Miranda wants to rant or rave about. And then you have to pick one. So AI overload in everyday life.
Okay, is that like having AI like everywhere?
Yeah, pretty much in everyday life, like where there's just AI everywhere.
Rant about that, I feel.
Do you want to do that one?
Sure, let's do that one, honestly.
So,
yeah.
AI overload in everyday life. So a rant would be we're replacing human creativity with prompts and filters.
Yes.
And a rave would be AI is finally giving solo creators a shot to scale. So how do you feel about AI being everywhere?
I'm really not a fan, honestly. Just because, I don't know. I guess like, I feel like in some way it's definitely taking away from like the personalization of, like talking to people and everything like that. And like, I see these videos on TikTok, where people are talking about just how like reliant they see people being on AI. And that's one thing that I think there needs to be a line, I guess, more so than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, the having it everywhere, like not having a choice, but to, interact with it, that's kind of annoying. Like I'm not always trying to do all that. Like sometimes I just want to have a simple Google search. Like that's all,
Can't have that nowadays.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what, the one thing that it's like, it really is everywhere now.
It is.
I feel like, I mean, no matter what you do, like every website you go onto, it's like, oh, here's our AI assistant or blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And it's just like, Jesus.
It's not going away either. And it's not going the other way. It's just going to keep.
No. And then like sometimes I think about how frustrated I get when I'm, just like on the phone when I'm trying to get through to a person. And I'm like, representative.
Yes.
Representative.
And that's been for years though. That's not even new.
I know. But now is it going to be the AI's like, listen here, I am your representative.
Yell at me one more time.
Yeah.
And I will end this call.
Right.
So you gotta go through the whole thing over again.
Not only that, now we have your voice recorded. We're gonna know when you call again, and we're gonna immediately knock it to the bottom of the queue, bitch.
Oh God, yeah. But so how do you feel about? So which way do you lean though? Do you use it or?
I've used it, yeah, but I don't like rely on it like some people say, or like in the examples that I've seen, I guess. Like when some people, I don't know, what is it? Like some of the most ridiculous examples that I've seen, I guess, are people that like can't even compose like a simple text message or something.
Oh, wow.
And they're,
that's
like,
wild.
That's what I'm saying to
then
that
you're too
extent.
Reliant. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that's what I'm saying. But I do see the benefits of using it to like I've tried using it when, you know, I need something more than that Google search, or like I'm trying to find something specific and I type it into Google and it's like, okay, well, are you looking for this? Are you looking for this? And I'm like, okay, all right. So then I, you know, open up Chat GPT and I'm like, okay, this is my idea. Does this make sense? Like how I'm trying to explain this, like,
so it almost like a validation of the original idea.
Somewhat, kind of, I guess, or even where I can just kind of like, I need to just brain dump like this thing that's in my head, and can you help me like put it together? Yeah. Just because sometimes everything just gets all scrambled, and, like ADHD. Yeah. So
yeah, that's fair.
But other than that, I mean, like I'm really glad that it wasn't around when we were in school, because
God, I wish it was.
No, I'm glad that I had to. I fucking hated writing papers. They were the worst. That's really the number one thing that keeps me from going back to school is the papers.
Well, you have AI now.
But that's the problem.
That's not the right answer.
No, it is exactly. It's not the right answer at all. Malachi, if you're listening to this, don't ever.
Yeah. Original ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that, you know, even the times when like I would get a paper pushed back to me where the teacher was like, hey, your Turnitin score is a little high or something. And I was just like, all right, let me go and like paraphrase something just a little bit more or whatever, you know, like let me go fix it like that. But then now, like you see people where, again, because everything goes through AI now, people that they are taking that time to go and write their papers and everything. Their teachers aren't reading that shit. They never were, but they're especially not reading it now. They're putting it through and then they're like, this comes across as AI. Gee, I fucking wonder why. Yeah. And now they have to sit here and defend this hard work that they've done. Meanwhile, there's people that are just using AI and they're like,
that's true.
And they just coast through school.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if they're grading with AI too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because, yeah. And like, no offense to all the teachers out there. I know that you guys do a lot of work. I support you. I really do. Love you all. But. the one example that I wanted to refer to, I guess, or in that specific one was like, I think it was like one of the last papers that I had to write for my my business administration degree. And I think it was like that financial or the corporate accounting class. I don't know, whatever. It was hard as shit. I struggled throughout the entire class and like I went through, did my paper and everything like that. And that teacher was the one that was like, hey, your Turnitin score is a little bit high and everything. And so I went and fixed what I could and everything. And I submitted it. Like 5 minutes later, I got my fucking grade. It was an A+. Thank you. Appreciate it.
But you did
not read that shit. You did not. That was like a 10-page. It was a long paper. Yeah. I worked my ass off on that paper. And I know all you did was put it in and get that fucking Turnitin score. And all I had to do was tweak a couple things. And you were like, A+, good job. I mean, thank you, because I struggled really bad in that class. And like, I'm glad that my effort paid off. But the point is, if they were doing that then, and this was back in... This was I was pregnant with Nisha at the time. So like 2018? Okay. This was back in 2018.
Yeah.
What are they doing now?
Probably even more so.
I feel like my brain would explode if I went to school and I bust my ass to do this. And then I go and if I have to defend myself against not having used AI, finally get through.
That's using AI.
Exactly. And then my teacher turns around and basically lets it slip that he's doing the same shit.
So funny.
I'm burning the building down. Yeah. Oh my God. Like just thinking about it, I'm hot.
So are you for AI or against AI?
I feel like I have to say
I think so. I think this was a rant.
I got really hot there.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I can see the benefits, but I think like it's getting out of hand very, very quickly. Yeah. And I don't.
If you use it right though, like standing up the company, I used it a lot for like, because I didn't have anybody to bump data with. Like I didn't have anybody to kind of.
That's what I'm saying. Where when I have ideas and be like, does this make sense?
Yeah. It's like ChatGPT turned into like my assistant.
Yeah.
Where I was like, does this make sense? Or like, how can I reword this? Or like,
yeah, just to kind of help me like bring the ideas all to one with like trying to get documentation together in like an order of operations and stuff.
But there's so many different models too. Like there's one thing that I've been wanting to jump into, which is it's like a LM something. I think it's Google or I don't know, LM Notebook or something like that. It's a new AI model that you can, I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me.
Okay.
But you can feed it a bunch of documents and then it like summarizes the whole thing. I've always wanted to get into that. I just haven't, it hasn't been applicable to what I've been doing, but ChatGPT for sure. And then even like stuff like this, right? Like the pictures and, you know, stuff like that. And like AI definitely has its,
it does have its
positive side, but it doesn't need to be literally everywhere.
Exactly.
Like everybody, even like before I left LM, there was this big push on the program to try to implement AI into like just program specific. So like but the complicated thing about that and what we were talking about is that you can't feed it from outside sources. Yeah. Because it's all on an internal system. Yeah, it's all locked down. It's air gapped. So it can't learn as quickly. So like when you have an AI model that's actually part of the World Wide Web, right? It can learn, if it's configured that way, it can learn from all these different sources, right? But if you have a closed model where there's only a couple hundred people, it's going to take a long time for that AI model to actually learn from that.
I mean, yeah, unless someone's like constantly feeding it information in the background.
You need thousands of people.
I don't know. I guess I just.
But at the same time, like, I don't know. It doesn't need to be everywhere. That's the point, though. Like, it doesn't need to be there. Yeah. Right?
It's just, it always, like, it starts to give me the creeps.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely, that's a whole different conversation.
It's some real, like I was saying with, like, the Disney Channel movie, Smart House. I'm telling you, we need to watch that movie.
Smart homes are not a good idea.
No. It scares the hell out of me. Just the idea of, like, knowing that someone can just, like, unlock your doors. Or like turn on your oven, or you know, like
it's no longer a physical key that you need. It's a wireless signal.
Yeah, like that's all it needs. That's scary. And then
how you're saying your home,
all this information is being fed over and over and over to this machine. This, you know, I don't know, metaphorical machine, whatever. Either way, at what point is it gonna like learn too much?
Talking like Terminator.
I never saw it. So I'm probably.
It hurts. It hurts. There's so many of them too.
Yeah, I mean, like Terminator, iRobot, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Again, Smart House, where the thing like it learns so much, and then it's like, hey, I know
that
more
movie
than you.
We just watched with the guy from Harold and Kumar. Sorry, I'm not good with actors, but the guy from Harold and Kumar, he's a family man, and they bring in the AI model, and it like takes over everything.
What was that called?
I don't remember what the movie is called. We'd have to look it up, but
I remember the wife pissed me off in that movie because just for once the wife was just fucking dumb. God.
But the point is that like AI is just like it can take over like a lot of stuff. But what I was gonna say too is that like, you know, with the smart home is that one thing that scares me about the whole thing by having a full blown like smart home is like the oven.
That's what I'm saying.
A smart feature that like if somebody hacks into your Wi-Fi, and that's another thing too is like a lot of people don't understand like how Wi-Fi works, right? If you gain access and it's not like a segregated, you know, system, it's all just one big network, right? If somebody gets into that network, they can control everything that's connected to that network, right? So that's why it's recommended that like you take your smart devices and stuff and put it on its own segregated part of your network so that if anybody were to get into it, right, break into your main network, the other network, right, where all your smart devices are is segregated so they can't access that. Yeah. That's a safety measure that you would have to do if you had a smart home. Yeah. Because then if anybody broke into your Wi-Fi, right, then they wouldn't be able to turn on your oven or unlock your doors.
But that's the thing is that most people that are doing this stuff, I don't think that they're thinking that far ahead.
Well, if you're doing a smart home, you need to have professionals do it anyways, but
you should.
Yeah. But even like smart light bulbs.
You should, whether they do or not is different. And even so, sometimes the professionals don't even like point that stuff out either, you know?
There's been professionals that have come to the house for like networking stuff.
I know. I'm just saying not everybody is
well, no, what I'm saying is that like they've come to the house. These professionals that come into the house and I have them do some networking stuff or whatever, right? Something I don't have time for. And I just need to outsource it. And they come in and I start talking to them. I'm like, this is what I'm trying to do. And just the eyes glaze over. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And I'm like, this is what you're here for. And they're like, I don't know how to do that. I'm like,
yeah.
See you later.
That's what I'm saying is that a lot of people don't know that. So then, you know, they see this thing and they're like, oh my God, how easy is that going to be? I can tell whoever, you know, whether it's the A or the G or the fucking whatever.
Yeah,
I can tell them like, hey, do this thing for me.
It's funny that you can't say the name anymore because it'll trigger your phone.
I know that's what I don't know what. G-Man I mean, I know that's gonna trigger my phone, but for if anybody's listening, that one, the A, and then what's the? I don't know what the iPhone one is.
Oh, I don't know. I thought that was Alexa.
It starts with an S, isn't it?
Siri.
Oh.
There you go. No, we can't because we don't have.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about for everybody else. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. We got to be conscious of that, huh?
Yeah.
Siri, wake up.
I forgot what I was talking about now.
But no, so AI definitely, it's definitely gone overboard, I think. But I use it a lot, especially Chat GPT.
Yeah, I think
that is my assistant.
In moderation, I guess. But that's the problem, though, is that
moderates
like it's there nobody.
Exactly.
It's never in
that's
moderation.
Why it just keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the rant comes in. Is that there's no moderation at all, and that's where the fear comes from. Is that like how far is it going to go?
Oh, it's going to keep going.
And it's like, I don't even want to say like, when is it far enough? Because by that point, it's going to be too far. Yeah.
So, well, they're talking about like, you know, and I don't know. We can't go too much longer with this because this could be an episode in itself. But I do want to say, though, is that there are certain limitations still. And I think people see those holes and they're going to continue to build on that. So one of the things, an example is like, I keep seeing this thing that like AI can create a website for you. And being that I just created a website, right? If it's complicated enough, right? If you just have like a regular plain text, like the landing page for the company, right? That could be done by AI for sure, right? Yeah. But the other side of it, like the high side of things, where it's, you know, that is very complicated. I think it's a very complex system that was built, and not only that, but you would need this AI model to get to the point where it can actually use your debit card or your credit card. Because a lot of this stuff, you know, when you're setting up antivirus and you're setting up all this kind of stuff that costs money, how do you expect an AI model to actually use those good products? They're good quality products, but they cost money. You can't expect an AI model to you can't just feed it a couple sentences and be like, build me this website and expect it to do all of that. It's just not to that point yet. But I think that's the reason that the upward trend of AI is going to continue, because people see those holes and they're like, well, it can do more. It can do more. It can build a robot. All you got to do is give it a sentence. You know what I mean? Like crazy shit. But
that's part of the problem.
But okay, so we got to wrap up this segment. The other three ones we'll bring back into future episodes.
Okay.
So next up is Am I the Asshole? Which I know you've been looking forward to this. So every week I'll pick one Am I the Asshole story and we'll see what Miranda thinks. So this one is, I left a group chat because they wouldn't stop talking about their kids. Now I'm the bad guy. A guy in his 30s leaves a friend group chat because it's turned into a mommy blog. Now the group is calling him selfish for not being supportive. Is he setting boundaries or being disrespectful?
Is that it? There's no more details?
And that's it.
What were they? Oh.
It's just a group chat.
Okay.
Is he the asshole for leaving the chat because they keep talking about, I left a group chat because they wouldn't stop talking about their kids. Now I'm the bad guy. A guy in his 30s leaves a friend group chat because it's turned into a mommy blog. Now the group is calling him selfish for not being supportive.
I mean, I think that's fair. I don't think he's the asshole at all. I have kids. So I honestly, even especially as someone with kids, if I get added to a group chat and it's a bunch of friends and it turns into everybody just fucking talking about their kids, I'm going to leave that shit too.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't
think this guy's the asshole.
I don't know.
Well, that happened back at LM. You know, I was in this group chat, and I don't know if anybody from LM is going to hear this, but I hated that chat. I hated it because it was just like, it was nonsense.
It gets to be a lot.
It was just nonsense about stuff that I just don't care about.
Yeah.
Like, and I think maybe I look at it the way I think the reason I'm so judgmental about group chats is because I used to be in like 6 or 7
I was
in the
just
military.
gonna say that
My phone was constantly going off for 10 years because all the group chats, you know, especially when we got to Germany, it was all WhatsApp. So it was all WhatsApp notifications all day, all night.
I used to dream about that fucking notification because it was going off all the time.
Exactly. Yes.
All the time. All day, all night.
It was nice though, having a gap right in between like getting out and then like, you know, kind of,
not having to deal with like
getting into LM and then you know getting into that group chat and stuff like that and, you know, kind of hanging out with some people from work, but it was nice having that gap of where there was no group chats, and then all of a sudden I got into one and I was like, this isn't bad, I can manage one. But then like as it went
everybody gets comfortable,
I was like, I don't want to be part of this anymore. Like I don't like this. But anyways, I don't think this guy's the asshole either because I get it.
No, I mean, that's how I feel too. I mean, I think I'm still in the group chat with like my mom and like 2 of my tias, and I think my brother's in it too.
How random.
He never says anything, but like, you know, they'll put in, you know, like health updates and stuff like that. And so like, I'll get those notifications and I'll like check in on it and stuff like that. Cause I'll see like the little, you know, there's a message or something like that. And so I'll go and check it. But oh my God, sometimes they just really like get going and start talking. And I'm like, you guys really need to make like just a sister group chat because like,
just leave.
They're sitting, oh my God, I love them so much, but oh my God, I don't want to talk about like what you guys are having for breakfast and what you're doing later during the day. And like, I get what you're doing. You know, they're making plans to meet up later and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not there.
Yeah.
I don't
they live next door to each other?
Yeah, they live very close to each other. So I'm like, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like you can have this
even with that. Yeah, I'm like,
in person.
Well, no, keep the group chat, but like keep it for just you guys. Okay, I don't need to be a part of it. So when I regularly, I'll check it, you know, just check in and stuff, but then I just mute it because I don't want to be mean because it shows up when you leave and like, it's one of my ideas. Sorry guys, but
you're muted right now.
Keep me in a different, start your own group chat and then just keep me in the one for the important updates.
After this goes live, you're going to see that you were booted from the chat.
Probably they're going to be like, oh, you don't want to be a part. I don't know. They might.
That's so funny. But
who knows?
But no, I definitely don't think this guy's the asshole because it's
not at all.
It's justified. Especially if it's so there was no details that I could find about like what the group was, right? Now, if it was like a mommy and me boot camp or something like that or whatever,
it doesn't sound like it though. If that's why he left,
but if like it wasn't that kind of group and it was just like, you know, like why?
Well, like I said, I mean, if you guys had that group chat for like, what was it, like his friends or? It was a friend group chat, not work, friend, right?
Yeah, okay. A friend group chat.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I guess like the only way that he could really combat it is like maybe, I don't know, since he already left the group, he can't really go back and do that. Right. But just be like, you know, hey, this obviously isn't for me. Like, I don't have anything to contribute to this. It's just blowing up my notifications. I don't have a place in this conversation. Yeah. And if your friends don't understand that. And why are you
selfish for feeling that way?
Well, you know, again, I feel that's.
Makes sense.
I just struggle with people that are like, oh my God, you don't have kids and you're selfish and blah, blah, blah. Leave people alone. I have kids and I still don't want to fucking talk to your kids. I don't want to look at them. I don't want to hear about them.
That's true.
Give me a quick 5-minute update and then like, let's be our own people for the rest of our time together. Because this is my time away from my kids too.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to do that.
You're going to fill that with just talking about kids.
Exactly. Like, no.
So this guy is not the asshole then?
No, not at all.
Got it. Yeah. That's good. I agree. Next up is Maybe It's Not That Bad. I renamed this from the previous title. This one is about something that most people hate, but you actually don't mind. Again, I picked 4. but you can only pick one, and we'll save the rest for other episodes.
So maybe it's not that bad. Okay.
So we got. I was actually really looking forward to reading all these because I know you're going to want to talk about all of them, but you can only talk about only one.
This is hard.
I picked these specifically because I know you. So number 1, people talking on speakerphone in public, replying K or thumbs up in text messages, chewing loudly, mouth open eating, people who overshare on social media. You got to pick one.
People who overshare.
Okay. So why did you pick that one?
Because I'm a chismosa and I want to hear it all.
I knew that was coming. I absolutely knew that was coming. But what about people like continuously overshare? You just still kind of
I mean, again, sometimes it's a lot. There's definitely times that I've seen people like post stuff and I'm like, oh, I don't think you should have said that on the line.
There's got to be a line in between like like entertainment for obviously the rest of the world, and like this is really like airing out dirty laundry that we just
but I mean that's really what like I guess oversharing kind of is airing. Well, yeah. How do you mean oversharing? I
mean, but like there's a line though. There's oversharing to me, in my opinion.
Like constant posting and like regular updates of like this is what I'm doing. Is that what
I mean?
Like oversharing?
I think there's different like I don't know, categories.
Yeah.
But when I think of like oversharing and then like airing out dirty laundry, those are very different for me because then like. So I'm not going to say anybody's name, right? But somebody from a prior unit in the military. And he was going through it with a spouse. And it was very public. It was very like Facebook public, like very public.
That's when
and I was like, this is not okay. Like, I get it. I respect it, right? But at the same time, like you need to handle this in like a session.
Yeah, when it comes down
not
to
a Facebook session.
Yeah.
But like
I mean, I always cringe a little bit when it's like, if they're like a couple that's dating or like, if it's a couple that's dating and they're going through a breakup or anything like that. Definitely cringe a little bit when they're like posting a lot and like fighting on Facebook or something like that.
After the relationship or during? Like during the breakup?
Both, especially, oh my God, especially when they're like, oh my God, I hate you and we're broken up and blah, 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 blah. And you've been sleeping with your friend over here and da, 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 da. And like, they're doing all this stuff. And then like 2 days later, they're back together and they're like, I love you so much. It's like,
sounds like the story's coming from a small town.
Each other. I'm so confused. Well, no, it's not even like the small town. It's like just the crazy, like the up and down relationships. Yeah. But I don't think that that's even like just online. That like, if you have a volatile ass relationship, I mean, that's between you and your God, I guess.
Well, and Facebook, apparently.
Apparently the rest of us. But I mean, just I don't think it's a good idea to air it out like that, especially if you're going to turn around and get back together.
Yeah.
Because then you just look kind of dumb.
Yeah, right.
Like,
so when do you think, when is it maybe not that bad? Hurts all of it. You just want to hear all of it, huh?
This is where I'm such a hypocrite.
Yeah, you want to hear all of it.
I have my opinions where I'm like, oh my God, I would never do that. And I don't think you should be doing that. And you probably shouldn't have said that. And you should probably stop posting, blah, blah, blah.
But please keep posting.
But yeah, I'm taking screenshots of everything. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe they're saying this. Especially, oh my God, I sometimes wish that I had just stayed in like the old military spouse groups.
Oh God, those get wild. Those are wild.
Those, oh my God. Like the uncensored page in Germany, I think it was like the 2.0 one or something like that. Maybe I'm mixing up that one in Fort Riley, but either way, those like military spouse pages, the drama.
They get wild too.
Oh, they got crazy. And like I remember like during the first deployment, I'd like go and hang out with Amanda, and it just seemed like there was constant like just drama like every day for a while there. And we would just sit there on our phones, just like scrolling through, wild. Just laughing hysterically together. And we're like, these bitches are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
That's just like it's like watching a drama.
Yeah, it's like watching trash reality TV.
In real time.
Yeah, but it's like right there. It's unedited. Unless like people edit their comments, but you can always go back and look at what they had previously written. I always
think it's funny when people are like, I don't know how they do it, but like they just catch some like cringy shit and like before they can delete it or anything like that, and they take a screenshot.
Yeah.
And then like they'll go back and like it's deleted and then they'll respond. This used to happen on WhatsApp all the time. People would send like some wild stuff through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And then somebody in the group would like screenshot it and then all of a sudden like the message would be deleted. And then the person would repost post it in the chat and be like, too late, I already got it.
Yeah. Like, people are messy as hell.
That's messed up. Yeah.
Because I would definitely scroll through like especially when they're like fighting and going at it, you know. I'm just scrolling like taking screenshots, you know, one after the other. I'm like, I'll scroll through those and like read them in my gallery later. Right now, I just got to keep up. Like this is modern day journalism for just me.
Oh God, that's funny.
That's your own business. If you want to air all your shit out, I'm gonna like
read
all of it.
Yeah, I suppose.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make fun of you in public.
I mean, I'm just
gonna like giggle to myself and be like, "Oh my God, drama."
Well, I guess I don't know. I don't know if I make fun of them just because I think it's more of like when that person that was going through that thing with their spouse. I didn't like judge them. I didn't like say anything negative. I was more like shocked, like in awe. I was like, I can't believe you guys are saying
open it. That's the thing that gets me a lot
especially when there's kids involved and the kids are now part of it. I'm like, this is weird.
That's when I really start to get nervous. I forgot. That's what I was leading into. Was that like with couples, if they're dating, that I cringe a little bit with that. If you're married, I'm like, hey.
And have kids, yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. These are the levels of my reaction where I'm like cringing a little bit, where I'm like, why don't you guys just break up already? And like, let's just move on. To where if you're married and you're doing this, that I'm like, I don't think you should do that. Especially, you know, when it's like in the first couple years of them being married.
Yeah, right.
And like everything's still fairly new and stuff. And you're like, not the best way to handle this. Like you'll theoretically, hopefully you guys will learn that to like probably start keeping stuff between yourselves. But then the big one is, like you said, when they're married or even, you know, just when they have kids involved in the relationship and stuff, then I'm like, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
And like, even if your kids are young right now, like they're not going to stay young forever. So,
well, chances are they'll never see this post. Or that post, but yeah, that is a good point though. I
don't know.
I mean, once it goes out on the internet,
that's what I'm saying is there. Like how.
But a post that was going to
how
be buried
well are
so
you
deep.
Like covering your tracks? I don't know. I think
if you make a movie about it or something.
I'm not even going to say it. Yeah. Never mind.
Goodness.
Never mind. I'll say it later.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I don't know. I wouldn't make fun of them.
No, I mean, like I said, I'm just nosy.
Yeah,
that's all it is. I'm just nosy.
I think that's a human response, a natural human response.
Yeah, I just like to know shit.
It's like something you can't look away from. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, like let me like observe, take it all in, and then, like I said, I got ADHD. I'm gonna move on real fast.
Oh, real fast.
Real fucking fast. Yeah, it's okay.
I'll forget by this afternoon.
Honestly, on my behalf, it's fine. Yeah. Don't worry.
That's funny. Okay. Our last segment is a feel good for the week.
Oh.
Because we could use more good news, obviously.
Yeah.
So I found
less cheese there.
So I found this good news article from today.com.
Okay.
The link's in the description if you're interested. It's from April of this year, but I like the story, so don't worry about it. It's titled "A Massive Sea Turtle Back Where It Belongs After Florida Photographer and Rescue Group Step Up."
Oh.
Yeah. So the article reads, "It wasn't an easy road back to water for the 322-pound loggerhead named Lenny."
Oh.
Yeah, the turtle was spotted injured, struggling to swim near Alligator Reef.
Pause.
Lenny
name was Lenny.
I knew Lenny was going to get you too. The turtle was spotted injured, struggling to swim near Alligator Reef off the coast in the Florida Keys in mid-March by an underwater photographer. The photographer saw the turtle had a badly damaged flipper and his face was injured from a shark attack. Yeah. The turtle was then brought to the surface by the photographer and his friends with Sundance Water Sports, taken by boat to shore and transported via turtle ambulance. How great is that? To the Turtle Hospital in Marathon, Florida. There's a turtle hospital. That's incredible. The Turtle Hospital is a small nonprofit organization dedicated to the rehabilitation of endangered sea turtles, the only one of its kind in Florida.
I love that.
That's crazy.
That is the cutest
yes.
thing I've ever heard.
But Lenny lost part of his front left flipper and has noticeable scarring on his head and was treated with fluids and antibiotics.
Oh, poor Lenny.
According to NOAA, N-O-A-A, NOAA.
Oh, okay.
Only 1 in 1,000 sea turtle hatchlings survived to adulthood. So Lenny's survival was vital for the next generation of his species.
Wow. I didn't know it was 1 in 1,000.
That's wild. After a few weeks of care, Lenny was healthy enough to return to the sea. Wow. On March 25th, that was this year, obviously, he was taken back out to the reef where he was found, and with his rescuer swimming behind him with his camera, Lenny swam away.
Oh, that's so sweet. Are they tracking him, making sure he's okay?
I don't know. I mean, the shark might have been right there.
Don't.
Oh, okay, sorry.
See, that's why. You ruined it. That was supposed to be feel good.
I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's fine.
High hopes for Lenny.
I know, right? But yeah, it's the feel good.
Yay.
What do you think? Yeah?
That was cute.
Yeah, right? I like that story. It actually took me a while.
Turtle ambulance to the turtle hospital.
Right?
That
is wild. And like, if you look at the, like I said, I'll have the link in the description.
Yeah.
But I can show you this later. But it says the turtle ambulance on the side.
Shut up.
It's so cool. It's so funny. I should put it up there.
They were just saying the thing.
No, it actually says like turtle ambulance.
That's so cute.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, so
Florida did something good for once.
I know. God. One thing I will say though,
for legal purposes, it's not for once.
One thing though, it was very easy to find like all the other topics and everything, right? Like the research and kind of all that stuff for the episode. It wasn't easy to find a feel good.
I know.
I was trying to look for something for like today or this week.
Honestly,
and
yeah, that's where I was like,
wasn't a whole lot that I could pick from, especially with like current events, which I'm not going to get into.
Yeah, that's the thing that when we were talking about like ending it on a feel good, I was like, it's supposed to be a feel good from the last week.
Yeah.
Like that was my original plan, and I was just like,
there's not a whole
it's kind of shit.
I'm sure there's good things happening. There always is.
I mean, yeah, somewhere,
not
but
a lot.
Like
nobody really reports on that kind of stuff. That doesn't
being overtaken by like all the other stuff now.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways,
turtles.
Yeah,
they saved a turtle.
That's right. Yep.
There were no straws involved. Thank goodness.
Yep.
And a turtle was saved.
Right. And
lots of love to Lenny.
Yep, there we go.
I love that name. I love animals with people names.
But I think that's it. That's it for this week's episode.
That's a wrap.
We'll see everyone next week.
Yay.